Hi. Today I'm going to analyze the chart of the new moon, which is on your screen at the moment. You can see that it is occurring on the 15th of September 2023 at 1:41 a.m. Universal Time. The moon and the sun will be conjunct, as you can see here, at 21 degrees and 59 minutes, almost 22 degrees in Virgo. There is an opposition here with Neptune, and there is a trine, which is one of those very beneficial aspects, as we call them, with Uranus. Now, Neptune represents beliefs, so beware of what you believe, and perhaps beware of your own intuitions, presumptions, inspiration. Because Neptune, when it is in opposition with the moon and the sun, of course, and this opposition with the sun is lasting a much longer time than the opposition with the moon. But when the moon reaches the opposition of the sun, it triggers the energy of the opposition with Neptune. So it will be a day, and perhaps a time as well, when we should be very careful of what we decide, what we do, what we say, how we behave on the basis of what we believe rather than on the basis of what is guaranteed to be real. And that is not guaranteed to be real, what is represented by this opposition. Although the sun and the moon in Virgo, Virgo being a sign which has a reputation of being quite rational, down to earth, analytic, well, this potential may be used on that day and around that time, a time when a lot of us are in bed sleeping, actually. It means that we should be careful, because this is the beginning of a new cycle. And what we decide to get involved in on that particular day, and perhaps around that time or during the day that follows, then may be a source of, disappointment, to say the least. And that disappointment may come to us as a reality when the moon reaches Neptune, and that'll be about 14 days later. So let's beware of that. And if we want to get involved in something new on that day, on the 15th of September, just be careful. Be careful that everything that you choose to do and what you engage yourself into are real, and they're going to give you something that will be real. The result will be real, concrete, which will probably also have the potential to last a long time. Because Neptune represents dreams. So you may have a nice dream on that particular day and night, but a dream is a dream. When you wake up, very often it disappears after a while anyway, if you do remember that dream. But there are dreams that we have and that we strive to realize. So make sure on that day and around that time that what you believe is a reflection of reality, so that you are not disappointed when the moon reaches the position of Neptune 2 weeks later. Now, there is a trine, as you can see here, a nice configuration with Uranus, and Uranus represents the potential to change, the ability to change. It could indicate that what you want to get involved in may very well change your life in a very positive manner. So it's worth really making sure that what you get involved in is real, and make sure that what you believe is verified, so that you can confirm that what you believe is the reflection of reality and not the contrary. to avoid disappointment. That's all there is to it. And then the moon is going to carry on, and it will reach the position of Mars. And as you can see, Mars is here at 13 degrees in Libra, so the moon will reach 13 degrees as well. And that will be on the 16th of September at about 8 p.m. Universal Time. There is an opposition with Chiron that says, be careful about your health. Look after your health. There may be something that you will need to do urgently about your health on that particular day and around that time, of course. Now, there is an inconjunct with Jupiter here. And Jupiter represents what we can do to improve our life, to make it better. But the inconjunct represents the tendency that we have to procrastinate, to let go and say, well, I will look into it tomorrow. Right? Fair enough. It's your choice. But it may not be the best choice. And then there is a sextile with Venus, which is very promising as far as love and, the good things of life, which are represented by Venus. It's also food, it's also anything that you can enjoy is represented by Venus. So people around you, people you like, people you appreciate, people you love, and people who love you will make the difference. And on that day, around that time, if you go to a party, for example, it could be a source of great satisfaction. That's good. After that, the moon is going to reach the south lunar node. The south lunar node represents that from which we should try and detach ourselves. To sort of make our existential vehicle, so our life, lighter. Because it will allow us to go quicker and more easily toward the goal that we have set for ourselves, which is represented by the north lunar node here in Aries, see? And there is a square with Pluto. So Pluto plays the role of the referee. Pluto is there to decide who is right, who is wrong. Is it the north lunar node? Is it the south lunar node? No, it's both. It's both. Because as long as you cannot decide what you are going to let go of, leave behind, abandon, so that you can go toward the north lunar node, toward the objective, and to solution perhaps a problem that there is in your life, well, there is no way you can escape from being, wondering what is going to be the best way for you to do this or that. So it will be quite uncertain. Don't worry, things are going to change as the planets progress around the zodiac and as you progress in your life. So the next transit of the moon will bring it in Scorpio, as you can see here, at 15 degrees in Scorpio, which will create an opposition with Jupiter and a square with Venus, which is going to still be alive. This is on the 19th of September at about 10 in the morning. And you see, on the 20th of September at midnight, so very early in the morning of the 20th of September, which will be, if you're in the United States, it will still be the 19th of September at night. Then the moon reaches the opposition with Uranus. So between Jupiter and Uranus, there is something that is happening. The change. There is a change coming. You know it. It's coming. So you better prepare for it. And if you prepare for it, then you can make it official later on. And that later on is most probably when Jupiter reaches the position of Uranus, and that will be on the 21st of April. By the way, I will put the videos online for 2024 for each sign. There will be 2 videos for each sign. One dealing with the slow transits, the planets, the slow planets, and the other one deals with the transits of Mars. Because Mars, just like the moon does when we analyze a new moon or full moon chart, plays the role of the triggering effect. It has that triggering effect on the energies of the slower planets. So if you want to watch those videos, of course, you're welcome. They will be online on that new moon's day, 15th of September, 2023. Anyway, let's carry on. So Jupiter and Uranus officializing a change. Maybe on that 19th of September or 20th of September, depending where you are, you will be able to make some important steps, to move forward toward the change. There is a square with Venus that you can see here. That discordance here shows that perhaps feelings and emotions are not going to cohabit very well. So try and hold on to avoid any mistakes that you could make because of your emotions that suddenly would perhaps deter the feelings that you have for someone, or maybe create a very strong feeling that will disappear as soon as the emotion disappears itself, because the emotions, as you know, do not last as long as a feeling does. And then there is a trine with Neptune. Follow your intuition. That's what it says, Follow your intuition. Be inspired and make something out of that inspiration, because you will not regret it. And then the moon will continue on, and it will reach the beginning of Capricorn on the 23rd of September. Very early in the morning. It's just the first thing in the 23rd of September. But of course, that's UTC, right? So wherever you are in the world, adjust, add up or deduct the number of hours that separates you from the universal timeline. Now, the moon is in Capricorn, as you can see up there, 2 degrees in Capricorn, opposite Vesta. So it's going to trigger the energy of Vesta, which is square Sun, square Neptune, and the moon is square Sun and square Neptune as well. And the Sun and Neptune are both opposite. So be careful on that day and that time, because a mistake could be made. You want to restore, preserve harmony, balance, and well-being as much as possible. That's very good. But it has a price, and the price may be much higher than what you expect it to be. You could be involved in something that is not 100% guaranteed to be what you believe it is, what you see it is. This is the fog represented by Neptune, and this is the light. So when you drive through a foggy patch, you use your fog lights. They're represented by the sun, but they show you the road, which is actually a distortion vision of what is really on the road. So you need to be extremely careful. And on that day, around that time, later or before, depending once again on where you are in the world, you will need to be very careful and rely on what is actually very objective, what is proven. And that is represented by Saturn, which is in harmony with Vesta. And if you do that, you'll avoid that mistake represented by this configuration here, this great square, as we call it. Then the moon carries on, and it will reach Pluto. And that will be on the 24th of September at about 8 p.m. Universal time. There is a trine with the Sun. There is a trine with Uranus, and there is a square with the north and south lunar nodes. So once again, what I said about the north and south lunar node refereed by Pluto is there to invite you to get rid of what you don't need anymore. What is in your way? What is going to slow you down? What is it? Or who is it, perhaps? I don't know. Because it depends on your life and your chart, of course. If you need more information about that, don't hesitate to visit our website. You will find the information to order a reading or a simple answer to a question that you may have. Now, of course, the trine with the Sun is very good because the Sun is life and Pluto is regeneration. So there will be a potential to regenerate, which will be enhanced by the transit of the Moon creating that conjunction with Pluto, because the Moon is going to be also in a trine configuration with the Sun, which is very good health-wise, for example. Energy, very good energy. And Pluto is there to say, well, if you can do what I'm expecting you to do about your north and south lunar node, where you want to go and what you have to leave behind. What do you want to take with you? What do you want to leave behind? That is the great question. Once you answer this question, then Pluto is there to say, well, thank you very much. Now we can proceed and we can regenerate your life. And Pluto, in harmony with Uranus, shows how much you can change in a positive manner thanks to your ability to question and get rid of what needs to be left behind once again. That is the big problem, I think, for many of us, accepting to leave behind what we will not need anymore. Anyway, there is also a link with Neptune here, which is pretty good because Neptune represents our potential to actually obtain the best results when we use our intuition and when we are connected to the spiritual dimension of life. And then the Moon carries on, and you see it's going to create an opposition with Venus. Remember what I said about Venus? About love, about feelings and emotions? They're right opposite each other in this chart now. And Venus is in Leo, which is the Sun's sign, and the Moon is in Aquarius, which is Uranus' sign, and it is in discordance with Uranus. So there is something to do here. A change may occur. Jupiter is also creating that discordance with the Moon. So there is something that may happen that will need your very special attention on the 26th of September at about midday universal time. Be very careful what you do on the basis of what kind of feeling you have for something or someone, because you could make a mistake. Mars is there in harmony with the Moon. So that's nice, because Mars represents your ability to act and react, to defend, to combat, to impose yourself. So that's good. And that will be useful when the Moon reaches the position of Saturn on the 27th of September, the following day at about 3 in the morning. Now there is a trine here with Vesta, and that means restoring harmony, balance, and well-being. That's very good, because Saturn represents time. So what you're going to achieve on that day or obtain on that day promises to have long-lasting repercussions. And there is, unfortunately, I would say, a discordance here, which is, that inconjunct or quincunx, as they call them. I don't like this word quincunx for some reason. Anyway, there is here that inconjunct with Saturn, Sun-Saturn sun, moon. So hesitation. Well, if you hesitate, you will not be able to really restore in a long-lasting manner harmony, balance, and well-being. That's all there is to it. So choose your side and act accordingly. Shed light on what needs to be clearer and more understandable, more useful for you and perhaps the other person or other people involved or concerned. And then the moon is going to reach the position of Neptune, 28th of September, 6 p.m. Universal Time. Well, what I've said about the opposition between the moon and Neptune, that was on the day of the new moon. And I said, beware of what you get involved in, because it could be an error if you don't know exactly that what you believe is the reflection of reality. Don't move forward. Don't get involved. If you have, then on that day and about that time, you will realize that you made a mistake. So there is a potential disappointment. It's perhaps not something very drastic and dramatic, hopefully anyway. But still, if you can avoid it from the start. Because then, when the moon reaches the position of Neptune, you will satisfy yourself because you will have done what was to be done and nothing else. And you see there is an inconjunct with Venus, which is here, and Venus is love, so there is still that type of ambiguity between love and emotions, feelings and emotions. Try to understand that a feeling does create emotions, and that's just normal, natural. But an emotion, a strong emotion, can also create a feeling or destroy a feeling. But what happens when the emotion disappears? Because as you know, an emotion doesn't last. So that's a question that you need to ask yourself before you act or react in such a way that is going to produce a very disturbing type of situation, perhaps, love-wise, emotionally anyway. And then there is also a sextile here with Pluto, which is good because it indicates a potential to regenerate. Whatever happens, then perhaps, you'll come on top again, and everything should be well. Now, the next transit, of course, is when the moon reaches the opposition with the sun, and that will be the full moon, and it will occur on the 29th of September 2023 at 9:57, and that is, of course, once again, universal time. So I will make a video about that, of course, as usual. And before I go, I'd like to remind you that on the 15th of this month, September, I will upload all the videos for each sign for 2024. So if you're interested, don't hesitate to watch the videos that you want to watch. Now, there are also the books if you're interested to learn astrology or to progress in astrology. Well, my books have been written just for that and just for you, and they're for sale on the Amazon website in your country or region. Then there is also the course. If you're interested in learning astrology, get involved in a course, a study, which is a serious one, to learn exactly how to analyze a chart in the best possible manner. Well, the course is designed for that. So, visit the website and choose the option that you prefer according to the time that you have on your hands to give to astrology, or the money that you have in your pocket. Now, there is also the consultations. If you need some information about your life, if you need some guidance, if you need some light shed on some areas of your life, don't hesitate. Visit our website and order a reading of your choice. Thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you also for your interest in my work, and I wish you a very pleasant new moon. Thanks. Bye for now. Take care.